Hi there, folks, and welcome to another episode of Talking Faith. It's great to be here with you in what will be my final episode, sadly, of Talking Faith. As many of you know, I'm heading off to ministry training and such like in the not too distant future, so you'll still have Johnny's lovely face, but unfortunately maybe less so of mine as things go on. And being kind of practical, probably next week we likely won't have a Talking Faith on, but in future ones we will be coming back again. I know there's some exciting plans as to what happens with Talking Faith, so watch this space. But for today, we're coming to our final psalm that we're going to be thinking about a little, which is Psalm 139, which Johnny is just going to read a little bit of for us.
For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. My frame was not hidden from you. When I was made in the secret place, when I was woven together in the depths of the earth, your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book, before one of them came to be. How precious to me are your thoughts, God. How vast is the sum of them. Were I to count them, they would outnumber the grains of sand. When I awake, I am still with you.
In all of my time as a youth pastor, nearly 10 years here in Kellermont, plus numerous others in places beforehand, there's one thing that comes up again and again with young folk, just a challenge that so many face, and that's of identity. Of who they are, of how they define themselves, of the questions of their value. It's a recurring challenge that many face. And I think as I've gotten older and maybe my ministry has kind of reached out into spaces, maybe not just of young folk, I see the same challenges. Young folk have a habit maybe of wearing their hearts on their sleeves a little bit more, that kind of emotional instability that can sometimes be going on in teenage years. But I think for so many of us, this question of who we are, of what we're worth, is one that we often come back to. And actually, I think many of the ills and challenges of our world come back to this same challenge of people feeling insecure in who they are and what they're worth, trying to prove something or be something or show something, because they aren't convinced of it themselves. I love this psalm of Psalm 139. The whole thing is just such a wonderful piece of scripture. But it has this powerful idea in the midst of it, that each and every one of us is made and created by God. That who we are, that what we're about, it intrinsically has value because it's of God. We are of God. And that's one of those truths that is easy to say, but can take a lifetime to actually truly embrace. Later in Scripture, we'll be called children of God. There is this idea that God has this love and care for each and every one of us, that He has made us, that He has purpose for us, and that He invites us to be part of what He is doing. How can we say that we don't have value if God says we have value? How can we say ill of ourselves if God does not say ill of us? If He sees us in our totality, in the absolute worst of who we can be and what we can do, still says He loves us, still invites us to be part of what He is doing, still offers us His wonder and His grace, who are we to contradict that? To contradict what God says? As I once heard it put, God does not make trash. You are fearfully and wonderfully made, a child of God, with intrinsic value that God places in you. Not what the world around says, not what you think of yourself, but what the Creator of all things speaks of you. So embrace that. Consider what that means for your everyday and live out a life where we embrace a truth, not insecure in who we are, but confident that we are valued children of God. I hope you found that little thought helpful for you today, and I will see you all at some point, I'm sure, in the future. God bless.